Today, we're going to be talking about a teacher that thought it was a good idea to give their students a sexual fantasy assignment. Don't ask me. I don't know what the hell's going on in the world today. But apparently, this was approved by the state. And what state might that be, you may ask? That would be Oregon. You see, according to this article, the assignment was part of the OWL, or Our Whole Lives Health Curriculum, a state-approved program 4J implemented in 2018. Now, you may be asking, what exactly is OWL? OWL is a sexually education curricula intended to provide comprehensive, fact-based sexual and health education. The program is age-based and offers interactive workshops and activities on a variety of topics, including sexuality, sensuality, self-worth, relationships, gender, identity, and expression, body boundaries, sexual health, and reproduction. So basically, OWL are the people that approve these assignments and send them out to the schools for them to do. And the exact assignment that was approved by OWL reads as follows. Fantasy story. You will write a short story of a paragraph or two. The story is sexual fantasy that will have no penetration of any kind or oral sex. No way of passing an STI. You will choose 3 items: romantic music, candles, massage oil, feather boa, flavored syrup, etc. to use in your story. Your story should show that you can show and receive loving physical affection without having sex. Why in the world would this need to be an assignment? Why do you need to know the sexual fantasy of a student? How is that going to teach them anything? On top of that, it's asking them to use 3 items. It wants them to use 3 items that will help them get sexually aroused. How this makes sense, I have no clue. Now, this was eventually leaked on the Facebook, and one of the people on Facebook had this to say about it. Not sure this kind of photo is what is meant to be posted here, shown as an assignment given to high school students at Churchill High School in Eugene. This was given by Mr. Miller, a health teacher and football coach. Why a teacher and coach feels entitled to the sexual fantasies of minor-aged male and female students is beyond my understanding. This is completely inappropriate and sickening. Can you imagine having to look at your teacher or coach in the eye knowing he has knowledge of your most intimate imaginations? This has no business in school or anywhere else. I am sharing this to bring attention to what's going on and will be sharing it elsewhere as well. Feel free to share as desired. What makes this even worse, as if it wasn't already bad enough, is that the teacher didn't even go by the assignments. He added extra things to it, according to this parent at the board meeting. Let's check it out.
I have the proof right here in my phone of with whom would you do it with? And my daughter specifically stated that the teacher put up a wheel on the classboard and it stated anal penetration, oral sex, licking of ear, kissing, and he wanted them to write down the initials of a boy or girl that they would do these activities with.
So the teacher wanted to put in a little extra effort. He wanted to get a fucking Wheel of Doom type shit on the board up there. He's going to spin it. Everybody's going to have a lot of fun. Going to get to write down the initials of their classmates. And he's going to get to go back and read it and watch everything unfold and get real creepy and sit over there on his desk, be like, and it's just fucking weird that they allow this shit to even happen in the first place, man. One can only ask themselves, what the hell is he gaining from this? And I think you can probably guess what he's gaining from this. Now, to me, this feels like sexual predator behavior as well as verbal sexual abuse. Now, just to verify what the definition of verbal sexual abuse is, verbal sexual abuse describes oral or written words of a sexual nature against a victim, often for the purpose of making a sexual advance or harassing the victim. Some examples of verbal sexual abuse are subtle, such as passive-aggressive remarks about an individual's appearance or sexual activities. I think the connection between the teacher trying to get the sexual fantasy from the students and then on top of that adding the will and then getting the students' initials, I think these are clear evidence for verbal sexual abuse. And on top of that, these students felt like they had to do the assignments so they wouldn't get a bad grade.
Now, I don't know what's worse, wanting to know my child's sexual fantasy or who they're going to have anal penetration and oral sex with. What is he gaining from this? What do you gain from this information? Why has my daughter that naively did the assignment? Because she's scared. She wants to get good grades. She wants to be, get her license. She has to get good grades. And so she does this assignment. Where's the assignment? Why hasn't she had it turned back to her with her grade on it? What is he doing with it? Is this for his spank bank? Is he literally using this for his sexual deviant? These are questions that need to be answered.
So this teacher had power over these kids. He used his position and abused it to take advantage of these kids and force them to do something they didn't want to do in order to get a good grade. And that's not okay. But what blows my mind is how he was still working there after all this.
Why is he still teaching? Is it because he's the football coach and Churchill's doing good? Don't want to lose that hype? Because football doesn't matter when it comes to our children, okay? This sexual deviant needs to be removed. If you do not remove him, I am giving you my word today that tomorrow morning I will go down to the county clerk's office and I will file for the removal of every single one of you.
Yeah.
This is something straight out of a Netflix drama where the high school is trying to hide evidence of some horrible crime that was committed by the head football coach because they don't want the football team to fail that year because they got to look good for the state or for whatever reason. It's unacceptable. It doesn't look good, and it's not good. It's all right. And I think it's interesting how at the board meeting they said, to be clear, the teacher does not create that lesson themselves. Well, what about the weird sexual wheel that he wanted the students to spin, that it would randomly land on something and then they would pair whatever sexual activity it landed on to the initials of whatever classmate was in the room? I think he did make that part up, right? I hope so. Because if that's the state doing that, that's not good at all. If that's Al doing that, and the state approving it, there's something going on, man. And we really need to take a look at our schools and reevaluate how they're being run, which I already think we need to do that with all the things that are going on already. And the fact that one of these students had to get up and tell their story and defend the other students and explain exactly what was going on in the classrooms, and none of the other teachers are knowing what's going on, blows my mind. How does this not get around? They had to know. There's no other way they could have not known, because schools are small, teachers are close, students talk, rumors go around. If there's a rumor, you got to investigate it. You can't just ignore it. You got to take a look into it. And it looks like they just ignored it until they were forced to no longer ignore it.
Hi, my name is Emily Ashton. I'm a student at Churchill High School. I was not planning to speak, but I do want to start with why the issues with Mr. Miller are relevant to me. I already said I'm a student at Churchill High School. I have a class with Mr. Miller. I take his strength and conditioning class. And I am one of the presidents of Feminist Student Union at my school, and I can be a voice for a lot of students that attend. I want to start with prefacing that I'm obviously not in his health class, which clearly makes my opinions about it irrelevant. I went to our vice principal, I talked to her about my concerns, I tried to be a voice for the student body, and she dismissed it because I'm not in her class. So I would like to talk about my experiences in his zero period class. I have heard from multiple female students, as well as seen it myself. He stares, he winks, he touches them to fix their form. People, you are all saying that it is the curriculum, but it is clearly the teacher if it's happening in more than just his health class. Students are uncomfortable. They have not been attending class since the issues. I have not been attending. He has not done anything to me, and I have not been attending, and I will not attend his class again.
Wow.
Additionally, as one of the presidents of FSU, we decided to bring this up in Feminist Student Union last Friday. People have mentioned this is a sexual abuse and a sexual harassment issue. It is a feminist issue. And we brought it up, and what happened is that adults in the back room swarmed around all of us, and they told us that we had to shut it down. We didn't mention his name. We didn't even mention his name.
Wow.
We brought up something on the news.
Wow.
We talk about things that are going on in the news constantly. We brought up what was happening in the news. We talked about a relevant issue at our school, and we were told that we had to shut it down. This is ridiculous. People are not attending his class. People are uncomfortable outside of his health class. It is not just the health class, it is the teacher.
Watching that gave me chills because it's you can just hear it in her voice. Like, she wants justice. She wants something done, and nothing has been done for so long, and it's all boiled up, and it's finally exploding. The kettle is spewing, and it's finally happening. Everything's finally happening, and they're forced to face it. It's really sad that it has to come to this for a school to take action. And it's weird, really. Like, why didn't they take action sooner? Why did they try to hide it? Sure, maybe it could be because he was the head football coach, but maybe there's something else. Maybe there's something we can't see on the surface. All I know is there's definitely something corrupt going on here, and somebody should definitely look into it. What I find kind of absurd is that the school principal dismissed it because she wasn't part of the class. Shouldn't you be putting the students first? Shouldn't the students come first when it comes to, you know, their safety and how they feel around teachers? That makes sense. For whatever reason, the way society and America treats our public schools is fucked up, man. They do not treat the kids like they're gonna be the ones that are gonna be taking over the fucking nation. You know what I'm saying? They're not the next generation. It feels like they're treating our kids like crap, and it's not right. It's funny how we hire these people to take care of our kids, and it ends up we end up getting these perverts that can just barely ride the line there where they feel like they won't get in trouble and get away with it, man. It's not cool. It's not right. And I hope one day something happens. But it looks like today that might not be the day, because this teacher was he was put on leave, but he was put on leave to be able to sit at home on his ass and still get paid for it, according to this article. Eugene School District 4J has put Church Hill High School's health teacher on paid leave and launched a third-party investigation following parental outrage over a student sex ed assignment. So at least they're doing a third-party investigation. Okay, so they got a third-party investigator to look into it. About time. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the situation, subscribe if you're new here, and if you're feeling a little generous, become a Patreon. Help support these videos and spread the love. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
You're a love, love criminal.